Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I will be getting worms. I feel a little bit crazy saying that. I feel like people will judge me, but please don't. It's actually really cool, okay? It's actually really cool. Basically, I have decided that I'm going to start vermicomposting, which is basically the processing of organic waste through earthworm. And it is a completely natural process. So basically, you feed the worms your food scraps, and they give you what we call black gold, which is kind of extra. Basically, they give you dirt. So their casting is dirt, and it's very nutrient dense. So it's really good for growing plants, which I have been getting more into. So I don't know, for me, like, this kind of stuff is really fun. I know some people might think it's weird, but for me, like, I really enjoy this type of thing. And the whole process is aerobic, which means that it requires oxygen. It's odorless and it's all natural. So today, you're gonna help me set it all up. So I have everything that I need, and yeah, let's get into it. So, okay, the first step is gonna be to build an environment for the worms. So I'm gonna show you, I got these boxes for the worms to go in, and I have all of this equipment. So it's actually a little bit more complicated than just dirt, because they need a specific environment to thrive. So for the worms to thrive, there's 3 different key parts of it. So the first one is the temperature. So they thrive within, like, I think it's 13 and 25 degrees, which is why I am not gonna be leaving my worms outside. My worms are gonna be indoors with me, which is actually something that, like, people do. So it's not like crazy, even though it might sound crazy. It's not that crazy. People do it, okay? People do it. And it works, Just because I live in Canada, so the weather is always weird, and I don't want to kill the worms. That would be like the worst case scenario, like, obviously, but I feel like I would be really grossed out if the worms died. Like, that would be really hard for me to deal with, because that grosses me out more than, like, alive worms, you know? So I want to do the best that I can because I don't want to deal with them dead, because it would, I don't know, I wouldn't like that. Next one is the humidity. So they thrive in a moist environment. They say that whatever they're in has to feel like a sponge. So it needs to be like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. It can't be too dry, it can't be too wet. It needs to be right, you know, spongy is the way they describe it. Next is, like, I don't know what you call this, but, like, the acidic, or like something about, like, the chemicals, something about science. Okay, it needs to be a good balance between carbon and nitrogen. I think those are the 2 ones. And that's kind of what we're gonna be dealing with. There's green matter and there's brown matter. And brown is carbon, and then green is, like, full of nitrogen. So you need to find a good balance between the 2 of them. Okay, anyways, I am really into this stuff because I find it really fun to kind of work towards, like, a more sustainable lifestyle. And I know, like, not everyone is into that, and, like, I'm doing it because I genuinely, like, think it's cool, and I genuinely, like, get excited about this stuff. So this is, like, fully, it's, like, kind of like a hobby. Like, I'm really into this stuff. So yeah. I also just want to add in that you can't add animal products into your compost. Like, that can't be food for the worms. So just in case, I doubt anyone is watching this video and, like, wants to do this, because it is a little weird, but just in case, like, if you do eat a lot of animal products, I don't know, you kind of have to decide whether it's worth it or not. And for me, I don't eat very much animal products, so most of what I make here is all with fruits and veggies and beans and, like, that kind of stuff, which is all stuff that the worms can eat. So it kind of works really nicely for me, so I just thought I would add that. Okay, anyways, let's get started. The first part is gonna be today, where we're gonna set up their homes. And then we're gonna wait a few days for their homes to kind of settle and for the environment to kind of just really get good, I don't know. And then once their home is, like, peak level for them to thrive, we're gonna bring them in, and I'm gonna show you that part too. But that's gonna be in a few days. Anyways, let's open up their little houses. Okay, so here's what it looks like. So you have 2 levels. We are only going to be using 1 level. At first, it's not going to be that full. It's going to become full as you do this. So at first, we're going to use the first level. In here, there's this thing that you put down here. So the bottom bin has a filter, and all of the juice is going to filter through this and end up in this bucket. So that's why we have this thingy. It's to drain out the fluid. So let's screw this in. They call it warm tea. It's basically all of the moisture, and then that, like juice or whatever, you can drain it and then you can use it for whatever you want. So you can use it to water your plants and stuff like that because it is like nutrient dense. So yeah, it kind of works a little bit as a fertilizer type of thing, but it's all natural. So that's where the tea, the warm tea, will go. And then this is where our worms are gonna go. So the worms are gonna be in here, and eventually, once all of this fills up, I'll be able to add another level and kind of build it. Before we get the worms though, we need to do the bedding, which is gonna include brown material. Here's the lid. Okay, let me assemble this. And then we're gonna set up their bedding, and then we're gonna wait. Okay, so the bins are done. I have one over there and one here. These are the extra layers, which I'm gonna add like in a few months. Now we're gonna fill it up and create the bedding. I'll show you what I have for the bedding. All of my packaging like came into these boxes that don't have any dye on them. So I'm gonna cut them all up, and that's gonna be part of my bedding. So yeah. The smaller it is, the easier it is like for the worms, because the worms actually eat cardboard. So they're actually gonna end up eating their bedding. So some example of brown material would be cardboard, paper, but preferably not bleached. Leaves works, so like dry leaves. You can also do eggshells. If you eat eggs, you can do hay and stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna finish this. It's gonna take me such a long time. But yeah, I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, we're done with the paper. Next step is spraying it and making it all wet because it's like really dry. So we want it to be like super wet. Okay, I'm ready to start filling up the box. Here are the things that I have. I have dirt, and then I have this peat moss. So what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of dirt and kind of just line the bottom. And then I'm gonna add some of this. And then I'm gonna add the rest of my stuff. I'm also gonna add banana peel because I did a little bit of research, and worms really like bananas just so that the process could kind of start. I'm trying to avoid as many mistakes as I possibly can, okay? Anyways, okay, we're gonna start with dirt. And technically, dirt is not on the list of things to add, but I'm gonna add it anyways as like a small base. I don't know, like I'm so winging it. Based off of like what I've seen, you really want this shit to be moist. So I'm trying to add like a lot of water. Like I could probably, I don't know, like, is that too much? I don't know. Okay. Also, it's important to note that the worms are gonna fill this box up with their poop, which is, it's like, their poop is amazing, but like, we don't wanna like fill it up right away because it's gonna get filled up. Now adding the peat moss. They're gonna hang out right here. Basically, like you need to give them room to grow. I'm really worried I'm not making this wet enough. This needs to be like wet. Okay, we're getting there. Also, fun fact is that worms, when they eat, they don't have teeth. So they need to actually eat dirt, and then in their stomach, the dirt that they eat grinds up the food. And that's kind of how they digest things. I think. Okay. I think it's moist enough. I'm gonna go get the banana peels. We're gonna put the banana peels and then we're gonna layer it with the paper. I'm gonna go get the bananas. Here is my super old banana. Hopefully this is right. And I'm doing the right thing, you know? I feel so stupid. Okay. So the bananas are there. Now let's add a tiny bit of this. You're supposed to put it over after feeding them. Also, for all of those who are curious, this is not supposed to smell. It does smell when you overfeed them. So there's actually like a ratio by weight of, I think you feed them like 3 times their weight or something like that. And if you overfeed them, that's when you can get like a smelling issue because they're not like breaking things down. Okay. I think we're done. Hopefully I'm doing this correctly. That's gonna be it for now. I don't know, I'm scared. Okay, this one's done. So I'm gonna do the next one. Then we're gonna wait a few days and I will be back with the actual worms. And I'm gonna kind of just take you through that process. Yeah, this is it for now. This is it. And I will be back with worms. Okay, so it's day 2. We'll just say it's day 2. But last time I talked to you was on Saturday, and it's now Monday, and I have them. They're here. So I just picked the worms up. Here's what they look like. But I got 2 like packs because I have 2 different boxes. And it came with a little package, which is so cute. It's like a little manual, which is really nice because I still feel a little bit like unsure. It like tells you the order of like the composting, how to start, and then the feeding guide. So day 0, it says assemble the worm studio and prepare the first layer. That's what I did. And then day 1 to 2 is the worms move in. Leave them alone for a couple days to adjust. So that's today. And then day 2 to 30 is 1 to 2 cups per week per box. And then month 2 to 4 is 2 to 3 cups per week. So they, okay. So they eat more and more. Because I think they reproduce. I don't know how they reproduce, but I think that they reproduce. Apparently they really like to reproduce in tea bags. So you can add tea bags and yeah. And then it shows you like how to feed your worms. Monitoring the ecosystem. This is so cute. This is so cool. Okay, so today we're gonna be adding the worms into the environment. So before we start, I'm just gonna spray down what I did last time because I feel like it might have dried out a little bit. So they do have a little bit of food. They have bananas and they have cardboard. And they can basically eat their entire bedding. So they have food. And when I add the worms, I'm gonna leave it open for like an hour, 30 minutes. I don't know how to do this. To let the worms hide and go underground or like to like bury themselves so they don't stay at the surface and try to escape. Yeah, okay, anyways, we're gonna add the worms now. I'm scared. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I got myself some gloves in case I get a little grossed out. This corner is where the worms are gonna go, so you can kind of see. I don't know, it's kind of a little bit moldy, which I think is okay. I don't know. Let's just do it. So I'm kind of just gonna lift it up a little bit. It feels pretty wet. The thing is, I don't want it to be too wet because that's also like an issue. It's like weird. I can't really see any. Here's what it looks like. And I'm just gonna dump them. I'm scared. What if it's like really crazy? There you go, little worms. There they are. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna bury them now. Hopefully, like, they like this house that I made for them. I want them to be like very comfy and happy. I think I buried all of them already. Okay, I think that's it. It wasn't really like that hard. It's like pretty low maintenance, I feel. Okay, I'm gonna add some cardboard. Okay, this should be good, right? I don't know how much to add. I can't see any. They're gone already. Okay, this is done. I feel like they're so cute. Okay, I also want to tell you about the worms that I got. They're called red wigglers, and each bin contains 120 red wigglers of all ages, along with cocoons living in a microbe-rich bedding. But yeah, I got them from this place called The Box of Life, and they do a bunch of worm things there and composting things. But yeah, that's a little bit of information on the worms. Let's do the next box, and then we'll be done for today. Hello, welcome back. And the last part of my worm journey, I guess, like me getting worms. And today we're gonna try to feed them for the first time. I'm a little bit scared. I haven't like really checked in on them like since last time I filmed, and I'm lying, I did check up on them, like, but I didn't move anything. I just like opened the cap to like see if they were trying to escape or something. And they're not trying to escape, but they're not really eating anything. Like the banana is not getting eaten, just scaring me because I'm scared that like they're dead or something. I don't think they're dead, but like I don't know. I'm a little bit scared. Anyways, okay, let's feed them. I have this big bin of stuff that I'm gonna be giving to the worms. So like, I just put this in my freezer. And this is like one of the tips is to, anything that you're gonna give your worms, put it in the freezer first, because that will kill any sort of fly eggs that might be on them. So like fruit flies lay their eggs on fruits. So, but if you put it in, and then if you were to just put those fruits directly into the worm bin, then they might like come out of the egg and then you'd have flies around that area. But if you put it in the freezer, then it kills off the eggs and then you give it to your worms and then you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so I'm gonna unfreeze some of this. I forgot to take it out, so I'm gonna run it under like warm water, and I'm just gonna grab a very small amount of stuff to give the worms. And I'm also gonna blend it because it makes it easier for them to eat. So yeah, let's defrost some of this and blend it and then give it to the worms. Okay, I've been collecting eggshells. I don't really eat eggs, but I've been stealing these from people who eat eggs. So they also like eggshells. It's the only like animal products that they can eat and that they actually really like. So yeah. Okay, let's warm their food up. Okay, so here's what I'm giving them. Okay, the video is done. I feel like I always say this, but I feel like it was kind of boring and random. But hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you thought it was cool. Or even if you thought it was weird, that's okay. You got to see me getting worms, and hopefully I am able to keep them alive for more than like a week. I think I should be able to, but hopefully they last a long time and they live a happy, happy life. But yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time.